Welcome back to the last video of this series on the Edge of Eternities preview cards. We have gone through all the base colors. Now we're going to go through some gold cards and some lands. Don't want to leave them out. We've noticed a lot in previous sets that gold uncommons themselves are just great and limited, so we want to make sure to look at those too. But the first card we're going to look at is blue and white. Target player mills cards equal to your life total is crazy. Like, you know you're already in white, so you have the possibility of playing a deck that gains a ton of life. In limited, yeah, this could do some nasty stuff. And we are fans of that. It's the same thing. This is the same card, I just didn't notice. But the art is so cool. 10 out of 10. Station Monitor. Whenever you cast your second spell, each turn, create a 1/1 colorless drone artifact creature. So this is really good. This is one of the gold uncommons in this color combination that in the previous videos we did look at as being very good synergistic-wise when it comes to the looking for a second spell each turn. We're going to look at Elfariel. It is a 3-mana 2/3. When it enters, you're going to draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact card. And when it's your turn, he has Death Touch too. So you're doing a lot. You have definitely a few options. Singularity Rupture. First things, mana cost. Destroy all creatures, then any number of target players each mill half their library rounded down. So theoretically, you could mill yourself if you're a graveyard intensive deck. Commander playable, right? If that is your win con. I haven't really looked at commander mill decks, but I have to assume they exist. It has a bunch of arts. The red-black uncommon 2/2. It's gonna be a flying creature. When it enters, return target artifact or creature from your graveyard to your hand. And your void reward is going to be a counter. On this creature specifically. You don't get to choose. Mutinous Massacre. This is a rare. Choose odd or even. Destroy each creature with mana value of the chosen quality. Then gain control of all creatures until end of turn. Untap them to gain use. That's cool. Not only are you destroying a bunch of creatures, but you're also going to have a free combat. So, definitely an interesting board state. You'll have to consider what CMC creatures you're playing before and after you cast this. It's interesting. Has a bunch of crazy arts too. Big fan. Biotech Specialist is a rare in red-green. It's a 1/3. When it enters, create a lander token. And whenever you sacrifice an artifact, this creature deals 2 damage to target opponent. So we're getting a lander token. We're dealing 2. We're getting more upside. Botanic Memorial Ensign. It is a green-red with landfall 2/4. Whenever a land you control enters, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. If this is the second time this happened this turn, draw a card. It's pretty cool. I do love the landfall synergy so much. I'm glad we're seeing it more in Magic again. So we have an X green white 0/1 with trample at rare. When it enters with a number of +1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. Whenever you attack, you may remove a +1 counter from each of 2 creatures you control. If you do, draw a card and create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. Has a cool art. Helia Ascendant Cadet. This is our green-white uncommon at 3/3. When it enters or attacks, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever one or more creatures you control with the counters on them deal combat damage to a player, you then get to draw a card. There are so many draw card features in this set. I'm a big fan. Alright, so we have a black-white rare 2/2 with Vigilance Menace. Already great. Whenever another creature you control dies or is put into exile, put a +1 counter on this and you gain 1 life. When this dies or is put into exile while its power is 4 or greater, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. That's cool. It forces you to deal with it earlier before it's really a threat, because you'll even get more value out of it, which is crazy. So we have the uncommon for black-white. That's a 4/4, a death touch lifelink, and when it enters or attacks other creatures you control, get +1/+0 and death touch until end of turn. This will be great in a tokens deck. Rithos Exile. This is the uncommon in red-blue as flying, and whenever an artifact you control enters, you're gonna put a +1 counter on a target creature. We have Pinnacle Emissary. This is a colorless red-blue 3/3 rare. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless drone artifact creature token with flying. Can only block creatures with flying, and it has warp hybrid, so you can cast warp it for blue or red, which we'd love to see. Oh, I've seen this card. Cosmogoyf. It's green-black star. 1+ star. This creature's power is equal to the number of cards you own in exile, and its toughness is equal to that +1. Crazy art. Big fan. We have Siege Ship Brute Tender. 2/3 Golgari uncommon. When it enters, you're going to mill 3 cards. And if you want to pay 5 to sack this creature, return target creature or spacecraft card from your graveyard to the battlefield. You can only activate this as a sorcery. Alright, we're going to look at Ragost Deft Gastronaut. This is a Lobster Citizen. Straight Boros mana 2/2. Artifacts you control are foods in addition to their other types and have 2 tap. Sacrifice this artifact, gain 3 life. You can also pay 1, tap this creature, sack a food, and this creature will deal 3 damage to each opponent. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, we're going to untap Ragost, our Lobster Citizen, who also has crazy art. Oh, there's a kitten! He's cleaning himself. Sammy, Ship's Engineer, Boros uncommon for 2/4. When at the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, create a tap 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. So it's gonna be fun when we can like stack our end step triggers, reviewing if we have tapped creatures, getting different effects. I think the red-white deck is gonna be really fun, and I really hope I get the chance to play it. There is another Sammy, Wildcat Captain, at Mythic as Double Strike Vigilance, and spells you cast have affinity for artifacts, and we love affinity. Now we're gonna look at Bionchin Engineer, Simic, uncommon 2/2. When this creature enters, make a lander token. You can pay 8 mana, draw 2 cards, and create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. And if you have infinite mana, you can pay that 8 multiple times. Genomorph. I don't know how to say it, but it looks like Lamau. So we're gonna Simic 1/3 flyer, landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, target creature has base power and toughness 3/3 until end of turn. If you control 6 or more lands, it's a 6/6 instead at base. It's gonna have a cool art. Infinite Guideline Station, 1 of every color. When this enters, create a tap 2/2 robot artifact creature for each multicolored permanent you control. 12+, when it attacks, draw a card for each multicolored permanent you control. It's a 7/15. Yeah, that's going to do a lot. That's a lot. We're going to look at some of the artifacts while we're over here too. All Fate's Scroll is a 3 mana uncommon. You're going to be able to tap it to add any color, and you can sacrifice it to draw X cards, where X is the number of differently named cards that you control. So definitely useful in the late game. Anti-Casual Vestige is a 6 mana rare. That's a 7/5. When this creature leaves the battlefield, draw a card. Then you may put a permanent card with mana value less or equal to the number of lands you control in your hand onto the battlefield tapped, and has Warp 4. You're going to be able to do a lot with that, and has some crazy arts and textures as well. We're going to look at Bygone Colossus, a 9 mana 9/1 with Warp 3. It's uncommon. Why not? We have a Chrome Companion. We got our little pupper, a 2 mana 2/1, and when it's tapped, you gain a life. You can also pay 2 and tap it, and put target card from your graveyard from a graveyard onto the bottom of its owner's library. So you're able to target yourself, your opponent, your friend, someone across the room. Dauntless Scrapbot is a 3 mana 3/1. When it enters, exile each opponent's graveyard and create a lander token. So we'll be able to get rid of some people's graveyards. Dawnsire Sunstar Dreadnought. Very long name. 5 mana 20/20 mythic. When it has 10 plus station counters, whenever you attack, this deals 100 damage up to one creature or planeswalker. Okay, because it needs to be 100. And 20 plus gives this 20/20 flying. So no matter what deck you're playing, you're putting this in your sealed limited decks. You're playing the card, alright? If you get your hands on the card, you're playing the card. You also have Extinguisher Battleship. 8 mana 10/10. When it enters, destroy target non-creature permanent. Then the spacecraft deals 4 damage to each creature. So we're going to kill your artifact, we're going to wrath the board, and then we're going to play a creature and give it flying trample. Bada bing, bada boom. We have Nutrient Block and Indestructible Food, but we can sack it for 3 life, and when it's put to a graveyard from a battlefield, draw a card. It looks gross. This doesn't look nutritious to me. I guess it can give you nutrients and not look nutritious. Pinnacle Killship, 7 mana 7/7. When it enters, deal 10 damage to up to 1 creature, and when it has 7 plus station counters, it's going to be a 7 flyer. So if you're lucky number 7, you may want that card. Survey Mechan, it's a 4 mana 1/3 uncommon flying hexproof. If you want to pay 10 and sack this creature, it deals 3 damage to any target. Target player draws 3 cards and gains 3 life. This ability costs X less to activate, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. That's a lot. You get to choose different targets. That's great. And we saw this guy at MagicCon Las Vegas. A 3 mana Planeswalker, Tezzeret Cruel Captain Mythic. Whenever an artifact you control enters, it's going to get an additional loyalty counter. Because it does not have any pluses, it only has zeros and minuses. So you have to sometimes give it ways to get more loyalty. So untap target artifact or creature. If it's an artifact creature, it gets a +1 counter. That's the 0. The -3, search your library for an artifact card with mana value 1 or less, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle. The -7, if we're able to get it up from 4 to 7, 8, 9, 10, you get an emblem. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 3 +1 counters on target artifact you control. If it's a non-creature, it becomes a creature. It has a 0/0 base, but you're putting the 3 counters on it, so it's crazy. Fearful. We fear Tezzeret. He's a cruel captain. You can get a pretty art. Thaumatin Torpedo is a 1 mana artifact at common. Tap is 6, sack it, destroy target non-land permanent. This ability costs 3 less if you attacked with a spacecraft this turn. The Dominion Bracelet is a 2 mana legendary artifact at Mythic. Equipped creature gets +1 and has pay 15, exile this bracelet. You control target player's target opponent during their next turn. This ability costs X less to activate, where X is the creature's power. Activate only as a sorcery, and the equip is 1. But we're somehow paying 15. If this works, I don't want it to be against me. It has some cool art. We have the Endstone, a 7 mana legendary artifact at Mythic. Whenever you play a land or cast a spell, you're going to draw a card at the beginning of your end step. Your life total becomes half of your starting total, rounded up. So we'll see if that is a bonus or a hindrance. There are multiple arts for the Endstone as well. We're going to look at the Eternity Elevator, a rare 5 mana spacecraft that taps for 3 wastes, and when it has 20 plus, add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of charge counters on. Woo! Oh. We'll be able to tap for a lot of mana. The Thrumming Hive Pool is a 6 mana rare artifact which has affinity for slivers. Slivers you control have double strike and haste. At the beginning of your upkeep, create 2 1/1 sliver tokens. Alright, for those who love slivers in whatever format you're able to play it in, this is the card for you, and you've probably been waiting a long time for a new sliver card. Virulent Silencer, a 3 mana 2/3 uncommon. Whenever a non-token artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. Now, we just randomly have poison counters thrown in? Okay. Alright. I guess I didn't see them before, so now we need them. Wormwall Sweeper, 2 mana 2/2 spacecraft at common. When it enters, you're going to surveil 2, and 4 plus it gets flying. Honestly, that's pretty solid. And really will fit in wherever you need it. If you need an extra little guy. So we do have some crazy lands. This is a planet, Adagia. That can't be correct. Windswept Bastion. It enters taps for white, but also has station. And so when it gets 12 plus counters, you can tap 4, create a token that's a copy of target artifact or enchantment you control, except it's legendary. You can only activate it as a sorcery. I'm excited to see how that ends up working out. Go through some basics. I'm definitely a fan of a bunch of the basics. The blue one, when you station, you're going to add blue for each artifact you control. The black one, Void Altar. I'm not going to try to say everything else. When it has 12 plus, you can tap 2 and then tap this and pay 2 life and draw a creature. Draw cards equal to the number... Oh, okay. So draw cards equal to the sacrifice powers creature. I'm messing up every word possible. Holy. Draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Activate only as a sorcery. And it has cool art. The red one is pay 2, sack a land, create a 2/2 colorless artifact, creature token, then creatures you control get +1/+0 and haste until end of turn. I do like that the mythic lands all come in tapped. I think that's definitely necessary with how strong they can be. That's Gaia's Cradle. Weird, they don't have Gaia's Cradle in the previously printed area. Anyway, I guess you have to pay a green. Actually, I'm lying. You have to pay a green and then tap it. I'm wrong. It's fine. But 1 green for each creature you control. That's why we need to read the whole card before we go and sit down. And then we have the shocks. I am so happy to have shock lands in standard. This is my second standard format, second standard format, I think, that I've existed in when shock lands have been in it. So I have so many of them, and I'm really excited to just be doing it again. I have most of my lands just ready to come out. And then we have Command Bridge. It enters tapped. When this land enters, we're going to sacrifice it unless we tap and untap permanent we control, and we'll be able to get 1 mana of any color. And that is common, so it's going to fix a lot for us. And Secluded Starforge is a rare. Taps for a waste. 2, tap this. Tap X, untap artifacts you control. Target creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Or we can pay 5 and tap it and make a 2/2. And that also has so many arts. And that concludes all the cards that we have for Edge of Eternities. I hope you guys liked all the videos from this series where we broke down the colors and got to look through and read every card. I hope everyone has a fantastic pre-release weekend and enjoys playing through with this set. Make sure to like and subscribe.